If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. If you have been frustrated by your networking efforts because they have not led to new client growth, for every hour you spend, you're not alone. You are doing networking wrong. And you are leaving so much potential on the table because of this flawed approach to networking. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I think is a lightning rod and a huge light bulb that has come in your way, and that is about networking effectively to create client growth. And here's why it's not working for you. You are going into networking spaces or joining networking communities, often for several thousands of dollars a year, with the expectation that your buyer is in the room. And that's flawed. That whole expectation is flawed. Because client, 95% of them are not in that room. They're not attending the B2B network happy hour. They're not attending the meetup. They're not attending the virtual event. Your client is so busy doing other things, their top of the list is not networking. It's a luxury in most cases. And so if you are going into networking spaces and judging your find a 5% in a crowd of 100, that's just mind-blowing to me. And yet I see it. I see it all the time. I see the churn rate of networking groups. I see the disappointment, the frustration, and the truth is completely due to flawed logic. Networking can be incredibly powerful. It is one of the most important investments I make in my go into a room expecting to find a client. Not to say that I haven't won the 5%, because I do how I do it, and my messaging is very compelling. I help you build a client growth engine. Guess what? In a peer-to-peer room, the biggest thing you're looking for is clients. The fact that I can help you find them is intriguing, and clients do come from it, but that is not the norm. Networking is about leverage. And you need to set the expectation of client growth immediate as the goal line and how you judge your ROI. There are 4 kinds of leverage you get from the right networking room. I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I want to have a discussion around what I mean by the right networking room, because sometimes the biggest issue is that you're in the wrong room. And I know that because so many conversations I've had in the last 8 weeks after listening to you at this event room. Now what? Well, for many of them, they said, I need to work with you to figure that out. But let's talk first about the 4 things of leverage that come from the right approach to networking. And what I mean by the right approach is the one that delivers the result. So number 1 is the reason you're in the room with peers, other business owners, is to network. It's about and we know, because you've heard it here before on this podcast, you need to get in front of more people, more ways, more often, because your business was built on strangers. And your ability within that room to identify opportunity and lead to the buyer is what will separate you from the roller coaster of uncertain client growth to a rock solid pipeline and consistent belief in the client growth engine you're creating. Your network is going to hugely influence your net worth. So being able to be in a room where not only you can have your network working for you, but somebody else's network for you is simple, smart money. But the power of connected networks is the number 1 reason you go to network. Number 2 is it is about relationship building. You don't need to play this game and you walk into the space with a goal. I brought 10 business cards. I need to get rid of them all in the first 30 minutes. That's a hit and run strategy. It does not work. I don't think it ever worked, but truthfully, it is still really pervasive. And the moment I'm in a room where that's the common denominator, whether that is getting to the room and dropping your stuff in a chat room, or simply in a space where you're like, before I've had my first glass of coffee or a cup of wine or whatever that you're doing, I'm out of my cards. I exit that space. Isn't the kind of people I want to surround myself with. Building relationships allows you to have an entire sales team working for you without them being on your payroll. Your goal in networking is to find the 3 to 5 strategic alliances that become advocates for you, open doors for you, care, and bring strong, qualified leads into your ecosystem. It's incredibly powerful, and it's not a game of many. It's a game of few strategic alliances, 3 to 5 of them. And your goal is to equip them to be able to successfully advocate for you. Your job is to educate those strong, qualified leads on why you are the must hire. That's not the job of the advocate. The job of the advocate is what you stand for and the results and connect the dots. But higher sales org working for you will exponentially impact your bottom line. You've got to go find those and build the relationships. It's smart money. The third reason that it is leverage as a strategy when you are networking effectively is that you want people mentioning your name you don't even know about yet. And when you have people who know who you are, what you stand for, and they're value-driven people looking to create big movement and serve at the highest level, they will mention your name in a room full of opportunities. And I will tell you, in my own personal experience, some of the biggest opportunities that have changed my business trajectory have come when they said, you need to know Christine. She listens and is an amazing speaker. Start with her podcast or go to her event. Or if you are already sold based on my personal recommendation, I'd like to facilitate a coffee with her. Like, the room full of opportunities is such a huge one. And it comes down to people doing business with people. Number is that you are in a room with other business owners, people with similar minded views, and your ability to expand and create new opportunities from pure collaborations is an ultimate accelerator. Use it. Walk into a networking space with the pure intention of leverage, of human to human. There's 4 key ways that you are missing if you go into the room thinking, I'm here, if I don't have a client from here, I'm out. Well, truthfully, if you want to stay in that lane, get out of the room. I'm in because I don't see that as valued. But I would love to be in a room with you if you want to connect your network and give access to mine. If you want to advocate for each other and be a sales advocate for what you are, who you stand for, and the results you do. If you want to be, and I tell my people and my clients this all the time, if I have not referred you, you do not know what you do, or I don't know what you do, and both of those should be solved. Because I'm always looking to create opportunities for my network because I feel great when I do that. And I'm also looking for in the community I'm part of, who has knowledge that I could benefit from and who needs knowledge I can share. These 4 things at the top of the mind, it should be a very smart money decision that says the ROI upside is worth every penny when you're in the right room. So let's talk about that, because I will tell you, in the last 8 weeks, I have had multiple clients hire me because this landed straight between the eyes. You've got a great idea. You know who you are and what you stand for. but you are getting tire kickers in your business, in your client contact driven out of your content strategy. And remember this, your marketing, the sole reason you market and you use marketing dollars, time, bandwidth, and money is to create a qualified lead. If you are not creating qualified leads out of your efforts, it's broken. Doing more of it is crazy. And do not let people tell you that works. One client, one conversation is a possible match when you dial in and get it right. But being in the wrong room kills your business dream. And there's a couple times that you can find yourself in the wrong room. Here's the most common that I see. This is your wake-up call. Because the first thing you need to do is get clear that it's not a client you're looking for, it's a partner. Second thing is getting into the you want to play with. So when it comes to being in the right room, you need to think about the commitment level of the people in the room. If you are a new business, being in a community of new business owners makes sense because the commitment level is probably about the same, which is it's wobbly. But if you're a business owner who's already making money and wants to move more quickly, being in a room of new business owners who aren't certain they're going to be here in 6 months is probably not the right room. Hello, did you just hear that? If you are in business already succeeding and you're in a room of newbies, that's not going to be the best strategic partners for you because you're constantly going to find there's a churn rate happening there. And you also need to be in the room where there's high-level thinking. If you're a high-level thinker and if you have big financial goals, big growth goals, big staff goals, big profit goals, you need to be in rooms where other people are not dabbling. You need to be in places where it's go time. And truthfully, so often we get into rooms and we're not sure what the compliment is. And that compliment can even evolve from season to season because most networking spaces have huge churns in them because people go into it thinking, I need clients. And if they don't see clients in 3 to 6 months, they're saying, this is a waste of time. Well, back it up. That's why you see that churn and you're a networking organization. You might need to expectations of what's for, which is leverage. But getting into the right room that serves your business based on where your business is at is vital. And if you're in a room where your peers are seeing you as the likable expert, but not the must-hired person, there's a gap that needs to be solved. Because I know that people do want to connect their network to mine. People do advocate as a sales person on my business's behalf. They mention my name in rooms of opportunity and they clearly see how the result I deliver is of value to their network and we want to expand the ripple. But if you're in spaces where you're the likable expert and people say this all the time, someday I'll hire you, you are not in the right room. And as part of that, you've got to think about the clients you are looking for. Because while I said they're not in the room with you right now, you want to find collaborative partners that access to the rooms where your next buyer will be found. And that means that you have to get clear who is the buyer you're serving. And you can use working space with it because one of the most powerful things I think about staying in a community committed to growing as a peer network that comes out of networking spaces is the simple truth that you have industry knowledge and you have a care for the humans behind the business. And when you can go into a space and say, I've got some ideas, you already have contact with, I think, who might be my next buyer. I'd like to talk about your view and lens of I can fine tune my offer, figure out if it's really where I want to play, and then run with it. When you do that, you'll likely find a partner. But being in the continuum of a client experience is key. Clients, let's just talk that for a second. Clients are on a continuum of experience. You as the business owner get to decide the intersection point where you want to connect to them, interrupt them, and offer value to them. So if you're in a peer-to-peer net community full of newbies, if you're serving a newbie client, they're going to want to be in that room because the peers in that room know a lot about that buyer. But if you're not wanting to serve the buyer, that might not be the right room. But as that newbie starts to gain speed, they get a little more intermediate in their thinking, in their needs, in their commitment, and that's a different intersection point. So you should be thinking, well, if that's who I want to serve, my next buyer, I want to be in a room with intermediate business owners who serve the same common audience, because being able to leverage knowledge, opportunities, advocates, and network contacts is smart money. If you want to be in the room where there is elite thinkers, fast moving, big orgs, you want to be, get the pattern, in the room with other people who have knowledge about that industry, because you're choosing that particular moment as the intersection. The ownership is that you get to choose where in the continuum you play. But once you've chosen where you play, you want to be strategic about your leverage, and you want to be sure that you're in the right rooms, because your next client comes through a connected dot, not from a hit and run strategy. And networking is smart money, in my opinion, when done right. And yet so many of you have missed the opportunity. I want to invite you to network strategically, to network to boost and add an extra 6 figures to your business, and to create a fun, collaborative, peer-to-peer, relationship-built business. And if you're not in those spaces right now, I want to invite you to come be part of mine. Come see the events that I'm part of. And I invite you to be at the table. You can find the details of ongoing networking I advocate for, I'm a believer in, and I contribute to on christinecampbellrapin.com/events. I will tell you once again, if you are going into networking spaces thinking your next client is there and you're going in with a vulture mentality that you should hit and run, get rid of your business cards, drop your name in the chat, stop it. You're ruining the experience and the opportunity that you have before you. Your next client is not at that happy hour. Your next client is not in that room. You want to think about leverage so that that becomes a springboard to the buyers are. Do that, and you're not talking about one client for 1 hour. You're talking about the potential to get in front of as many new buyers as you need to fill your pipeline, to build the capacity and the outcome of your business strategic goals. This is elegantly simple. Light it up. Your clients are waiting, and your business partners are going to help you access to them. christinecampbellrapin.com/events. Come play. Look forward to seeing you there. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.